And it's looking at it from the other side, you're feeling secure. You're having performance. You're being secure. You have feelings. You want to play. You want to perform, and it's how you adjust your performance or your career so you find work that you like doing, that you're having fun doing, that you're enjoying doing. Well, if you're enjoying what you're doing, people will like you more. The energy that goes out is good from that. If you, oh boy, everybody's run into the, you go to a restaurant and someone just slops your food down, saying, I'm not really a waiter, I'm an actor, but I'm having to do this, so here, boom, and they slop it down in front of you. You're not going to get a tip. Who wants to be served food like that? That's a 6th house, 12th house dilemma. So these are about transforming, with the 3rd and 9th about understanding, but these are the cadent houses where things are changing in a person's life. So someone might have most of the planets have fixed and cardinal signs in their signs, and you think, wow, they're really stubborn. But when it comes to circumstances, they're always changing around them. So these contradictions can happen. It depends how as you start putting the pieces together, you start to see these differences and these conflicts, and you'll say, oh, look at that. That's how that works for this person. This is how we get into the natal interpretation. Okay. So I guess these are the modes. Like in the signs, you have the modes, the cardinal, fixed, mutable. In the houses, you have the angular, the succeedent, the cadent. The being, the having and using, and the knowing how or transforming how you use what you have. Generally, you make an effort to improve things. You put a little more effort and time in. If you get results. If you don't put any effort in, you get a very different type of result. And all of this is not just hinged on your social status. You may think, I'll never get a job. My dad didn't work. I'll never get a job. You can have a negative attitude there and not accomplish. But it's really based on your IC, on how you integrate yourself, on what motivates you personally as to why you get up and what you're going to try in the world. Okay, so let's just go on a little further here. So this adds the next cycle from the intuition, feeling, and the colors are set up like this. The bright colors are above the horizon, the objective functional world, and the darker colors, the more unknown colors, are down in our subjective world. Okay, so we project out of our dark subjectiveness up to the bright position and status, and we see what we get done or don't get done. Then we start responding, we go back into our sleep at night. Okay, from here, the next categories are I like to call them the worlds. There's different types of worlds, 4 different worlds, but generally there's, like you have the fire, water, air, earth signs. There's similarly fire, water, earth, air houses. At least that's how they're talked about in the West. Mark Edmund Jones, Western astrologer, but he didn't like to give them the names of the fire, water, earth. He gave them worlds of concern. So these are, there's 4 different worlds, like there are 4 different elements. So there's a fire world, which would be considered the world of self. This here we see the fire. The first house is a fire house. It's self. It's my personal being. The other word, these are all trying to. The 5th house is having and using. It's like there's 1 angular, 1 succeedent, 1 cadent area of self. So these are the 3 worlds of the self. And 1 is self-identity, 1 is self-performance, of having how you take things in, how you respond, that feeling. And the other is the sensation of the self and how I understand myself, what my understanding and my philosophy is. So we have my identity, my performance, 5th house, and my morality or my principles or how I see where everything's going, my understanding of things. You don't understand nothing. I understand everything. Like these type of things are 9th house things. They can be right or wrong, but this understanding is the cadent understanding house is the house of self-fire, but it's the most social fire. It's the fire of being proud of who you know, of the relationship, doing the right things, being aligned, going to the right church, doing the right things or the wrong things. It's the pride and the fire of the self, self-understanding, how you figure the world is working. The identity is the angular, that's the cadent one. The identity is angular fire, or angular self. It's myself, my identity. The identity is not you in context to anyone else. It's not the appearance of what you look like or how other people are going to see what you look like or not. It's not the you see in the mirror. It's the you that's going to look in the mirror but hasn't quite seen it yet. You're behind the looking glass, so to speak. It's your inner depth and how you get yourself together, put your package together in the world, how good, how bad, for whatever reason. I'm a slob today because, boy, I had a fight at home and I had to just get out of the house. You got to understand. So the understanding asks for the understanding, but the identity, it comes from your own personal intuition and your own personal motivation. And then from there, it begins to be how you put that energy, that identity out in the world. Hi, I'm Robin. How do you like me so far? Hi, what you doing? You know, like, or negatively, you walk out the door and neighbor says, hey, how you doing? You say, what's it to you? You got a negative projection. So this self, how confident, how alive are we in our self? This is self-identity. This is the self. And then our performance. I got my kids. I'm playing. I'm doing this. We're having fun with this. We're trying to make it fun. Or it's a romantic house. I play. I'm being. And aren't I the best? I'm not the best. Of course I'm the best. Don't you think I'm the best, honey? Of course you think I'm the best. You know, like this playfulness of having that feeling of, if you're at home, you have a lot of feelings built up. So by the time, I'm taking traditional images, by the time the partner gets home, you want to have feelings to perform with. They're totally exhausted. They don't want to perform. They want to crash. And you're like, how come I just want to perform? You're not noticing me. That's a feeling. So the, why did I go to feelings? Oh, because this is the self, how we perform. So there's three areas that we really consider ourself. They're the three houses that build up our sense of self. Our identity, our performance, how we play, and our understanding about things, our outlook. Those are the worlds of self. They're the firehouses. So, okay, from here, okay. And these houses tend to go along with, they tend to align nicely. They're sort of trying each other. So they tend to align with each other fairly well. They're not in conflict with each other. They're in the same element of self. When you get to the next one is, that would be the firehouse. The next one would be like the air houses. And there's three. The air house is about communication, relationships. So we have three types of relationships. A relationship to our own expression, to our own ideas, how we express ourselves, what friends we have who listen to our expressions, and the partners we have who have to share our ideas with. So these are the three air houses, but let's call them the three relationship houses. Relationship to my own ideas, relationship to my friends, and sharing ideas with friends, and relationships to partners. The seventh, the third, and the 11th. These are the three areas of relationships. And if you're not expressing yourself well, it's going to have difficulty with friendships. It's going to have, the partner's going to notice it too. If you don't have good relationships and you have bad friends, it's going to be difficult to think properly too. You'll pick up all the bad habits from those. So these things, these three areas, these are the worlds of relationships, to personal expression, friendships, and partnerships. Okay. Then we have the earth houses, the worlds of concern. There's three areas that we're specifically, that get us concerned, that we're basically practically, materialistically concerned about. They're areas of concern. Identity is fire, we're being. It's not so much a concern. We're sensitive to it, whether we're up or down. The same way with communication expression, we have good ways or bad ways, but it's different than concerns. Concerns are what we worry about, what we're concerned about. There's three types of concerns. We're concerned about our personal resources, about having enough things and being able to use things, being able to buy the things we need for ourselves. We're concerned about resources and values. We're concerned about our status and position in life, our honor, our respect, our career, our status. So we're concerned about that. And we're concerned about our duty and our skills. how much we're able to transform and improve, how we're able to improve. So we have my resources, how do I improve them, how do I get the best status? And these three things work with each other. So there would be the earth houses, but I call them the areas of concern, concerned about personal values, concerned about performance and duty, and how to improve, concerned about status and position, and what are the responsibilities. So those are the earth concern houses. Now, the water houses are considered the houses of rewards. Basically, you get what you got coming to you, but it's water, it feels it, you get the rewards. It's where you're sensitive and collecting things. We have three areas where we have expectations about getting rewards. If we have security, our home, that's one, that's a water house. We feel secure, that's a reward. If you don't feel secure, it's less than a reward, but it's that feeling that builds up our foundations. That sense of security, that's the first area of water. It's not rational, it's a sense of feeling. The second area is trust. The second water house is trust. Having the energy togetherness. Do we trust each other? Can I trust my partner? Do I trust my partner with the kids? Do you have different opinions to the kids? Who's trustworthy? This issue of exchange and trust. It's a sensitivity. How can you work with someone if you don't trust them? So this is a basic sensitivity, but it's still a water house, and there's a lot of really deep, impressionable things and very big judgments come up through water houses. And the third water house of rewards is the 12th house, which is a house of endings. And you get, people would call these houses, some people call these houses the houses of endings, or of death, the water houses, but this is the end of your social position, when to end things. It's your consciousness. It's whether you feel guilty or not about things, and can you transform things and make them better. So you got the karma, you got the failures that you deserve, you get the results that you have. So this is the 12th house. You only get the results of what you get. You don't get more. What's fair? So this 12th house rewards, this home rewards, and the 8th house rewards. So one, you feel you're doing the work you have to do. Two, you're not getting paid well enough. There's an issue of trust and an 8th house concern. You're not getting paid enough, so you're feeling insecure. The boss is getting upset with it, and you lose the job. Or you end up with lesser positions. Then you think you're not getting paid for what you should do, and you should be in a different position. You want to get out of this job, and how do you do it? So these are areas of security, trust, and conscience. These are the water concerns. They're rational, they're emotional, but they're still very strong presences. So someone might have all fire and air in their signs, but if they have a lot of 12th, 8th, and 4th house houses, they're going to have an emotional quality and a rational quality to them when it comes to dealing with things. So the attitudes can be very fixed or very fiery, but the houses, if they're brought out where there's a lot of water houses or rewards houses, they're going to have a very emotional quality to it. Okay.